Hello. What is up? Welcome back to my channel. Sorry it's been so long. Sorry if it's weird and echoey in here. There's like nothing on the walls in this room. And also the heater, this thing right here, is on, so it's making kind of a lot of noise, but it's cold as balls outside, so I'm gonna leave it on. Here's the thing, my dudes. I am angry. I'm not angry at you. I don't have any reason to be angry at you. You guys are awesome. You watch my videos. You sometimes leave me comments, and sometimes they're, most of the time, honestly, I think all of the time actually, they're very, very nice and positive and encouraging. So thank you very much for that. I am not at all angry at you. I have been in therapy, in and out of therapy for like, I don't know, a decade. I started going to therapy in earnest back in 2011 until 2013, and then I couldn't afford it anymore. Thanks US healthcare. And then I started going again in 2017 to 2018, and I've been going pretty much every week ever since. Plus, I also, fun fact, spent some time in a German mental hospital. I'll make a whole video on that experience. Spoiler alert, it was really good, highly recommend. Anybody who can spend some time in a German mental institution, no sarcasm, like completely in earnest, I strongly recommend that you do that. It was really great for me. That being said, I am still in therapy right now. My next appointment is on Monday, but something that I don't think that everybody realizes, people, especially people who are not in therapy, by the way, if you're not in therapy, you probably should be, let's be real, everybody has problems. If you're not in therapy, you may not know that one of the main purposes of therapy is to work through the negative feelings and experiences and everything that you've had in your life. But part of that, part of working through that is not just, you know, you go in there and then you feel better immediately. No, you have to do the work. You have to do the really hard work and like put in the effort and really look at yourself and look at your past and look at what you've done and what has been done to you and like deal with it. And confronting that, confronting those feelings and those experiences, it is not fun. Let me tell you right now, it's not fun. It is really freaking hard and it's so uncomfortable, and if you're doing that, good for you. You are hella brave. You are incredibly strong, because it sucks. I don't like it. Nobody likes it, I don't think. Like, it's good. It's a good thing for you to do. It's ultimately gonna be so much better for you in the long run. You're gonna feel so much better. It's so healthy. It's so freeing and liberating to get through some of this stuff. But as you're going through it, which I am right now, it sucks. So right now, some of the stuff that I'm going through in therapy, I don't need to get into it online, but some of it is bringing up some feelings of anger, kind of a lot of feelings of anger, and I don't always know how to deal with those in a healthy way. And I think that that's something that probably a lot of people struggle with. This is probably something that's pretty, I don't know, relatable to a lot of people, is not knowing how to deal with your anger in a healthy way, in a way that's going to be productive, in a way that's going to be helpful to you in your growth as a person and not just destructive. Because anger is such a, it's a really important feeling, and it's a really important, like, it exists for a reason. Just like fear, just like hope, just like all of these other feelings that you experience in your life, anger also exists for a reason. And it's your subconscious trying to communicate with you and to tell you something. So when you're feeling anger, you have to sort of sit with it. You don't want to just push it back down and say, nah, that's too uncomfortable and I don't want to deal with it. You're gonna feel that way, but you really should try to listen to it and say, okay, why am I feeling angry, and what is this trying to tell me about me? What is this trying to tell me about the situation that I'm in? Or what is this trying to tell me about the memories that I'm having, about this past experience, or about my present experience? Like, your anger is telling you something. It's also an incredibly powerful emotion. It's a powerful feeling that it almost compels you to act on it, because it's an aggressive feeling. It's an aggressive experience to feel anger, and a lot of times I think, and let me just say, I'm not a therapist. I've spent a lot of time in therapy, but I'm not a therapist. I'm not trained as a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I don't have any psychological background aside from my own experiences in therapy. And the little bit of research that I've done just as a hobby in my free time. I am not licensed, I am not a therapist, none of this is professional opinion. But I can tell you from my experience, my own experience, from being in therapy and from having to do this hard work, that anger is A, very important, you should listen to it, B, legitimate, and C, aggressive. It's hard to channel that feeling, that really powerful feeling, into something that's going to be productive and that's going to be ultimately helpful for you. At least that's been the case for me. Usually my negative emotions, they manifest as sadness and hopelessness and depression. That is just me, that's just my journey. That's full transparency, and I'm not ashamed of that. Which is why I'm telling it to you right now. But anger, on the other hand, is something that I don't have a lot of experience in dealing with. And I have some theories about why that may be, but suffice it to say, I don't always know how to deal with my anger. And I think that that's probably true for a lot of people. So, this has been like a long-ass introduction. One of the things that I've been trying to figure out lately, how to deal with this anger in a more constructive way, other than what I usually gravitate towards is destruction. I feel like I need to destroy things. I feel like I need to like smash glass, particularly. That's something that really appeals to me. And I don't necessarily feel like that's helpful all the time. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's very helpful to do that. But I think that feeling usually comes when I have been trying to push my anger down and not actually look at it very closely. One of the ways that I've found to be the most helpful is to paint. So that's what we're gonna do today, is I am going to paint, and you are welcome to paint with me. I find it to be really cathartic, and I think part of the reason that it feels cathartic is that I am an amateur at it. That's something that I don't always let myself do. I don't always let myself be bold in my day-to-day life. So it's nice sometimes to just let myself feel what I'm feeling and create what I want to create without having these self-imposed, what Blake called the mind-forged manacles of my superego, of the part of myself that feels like I need to be in control. Painting is a way for me to be creative and to let some of those feelings out. So, that being said, yeah, let's get into it. A quick disclaimer, like I said, I am not a professional. I don't have really any training in painting. One of the best pieces of advice that I've ever received as far as making art of any kind is to not look at something for what it is, but to break it down into its component parts, into lines and angles and shapes. Like when I learned about it, it was how do you draw a hand? because hands are so freaking hard to draw. I don't know if anyone else has had this experience, but like if you're looking at a hand, you don't go at it trying to draw a hand. You look at it and say, okay, here's this line right here, and this shape here, and this line and this angle. You don't look at it as a hand. You sort of break it down into these manageable pieces. It takes this complex problem and breaks it down into something that we can all do and we can all manage. And I like that. I like that as a metaphor for a lot of things. I looked at that in the context of language acquisition and language learning, especially trying to learn German right now. I'm looking at words and pronunciation in particular, not necessarily as saying words or phrases, but as just making sounds. So like, I'll listen to how people say things, and I don't need to say words, I just need to mimic those sounds. Does that make sense? I don't know if it makes sense or not, but breaking things down into smaller, more manageable pieces, I think is a great lesson for anything that you do. So that's my little nugget of wisdom as far as painting goes, and that is pretty much the extent of my knowledge. Everything that I do on this page today, everything that I do on this piece of paper is just play. So let's do it. I don't know if you realize how much I actually like YouTube because, you know, I don't post that often, but like I really like making videos. So if you guys, you know, what the heck? Oh, there we go. If you guys have videos that you want to see from me, if you have ideas, let me know, because I really like doing this. I like spending time with you guys, and I like letting you in and being honest with you and sharing my life and my journey and everything with you. So yeah, if you want to see more from me, if you have things that you want me to do or make or whatever, just let me know. Leave a comment. Let me know. Connect with me on social media, you know. Usually when I'm angry, like I am right now, I tend to gravitate more toward like reds and yellows and oranges and browns and blacks and everything, but today I'm thinking more like a cooler color palette. So I have my black, blue, white. Maybe I'll get some green. And let's just see what happens. I also have all of these brushes, so also my camera doesn't really autofocus, so I can't like actually show it to you. It will never focus on it, so sorry about that. It's like, it's this big. This is amateur hour, okay? That's all that this is gonna be. We're not making any masterpieces today. We are here to fuck up. So that being said, let's start with some, just some black. And blue. And white. And green. There we go. Let's begin. Here's the thing, is that when it comes to art, there are no rules. And if you, like, studied art in school and stuff, like, I know that I have this problem with literature because I studied literature in school, where I feel like I have a hard time, like, writing because I feel I've been exposed to so many great writers, and I've, like, learned all of the rules about how to write well and everything, and you know what? There are actually not really any rules, and I've heard so many times, you know, you have to learn the rules before you can break them and everything, and you know what? That's bullshit. You can break the rules at any time. And you don't owe anyone perfection. And you definitely don't owe yourself perfection. So, you know what? Just let go of that. Let go of that responsibility, and don't hold yourself to such a high standard, you know? Do you think those great painters, those great artists started off being great? No. They had to fuck up. They had to make some ugly ass art that nobody wanted, that nobody asked for, before they could do anything that people would actually relate to or respect or that would resonate with anyone besides themselves. And I think that we forget about that when we're just starting out and we're just trying to figure shit out. You know, we don't... I know that at least, I hold myself to just an impossible standard all the time. I feel like I need to be perfect at everything I do the first time I try it, and my God, that's exhausting. It's exhausting in large part because it's not going to happen, and so I feel disappointed a lot of the time because I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I so bad at everything? And you know what? First of all, I'm not bad at everything. I'm good at some things. I'm really good at some things. And like, I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of times we expect ourselves to be great immediately because why do we feel that way? I actually don't freaking know, but we do, and a lot of times that keeps us from actually growing and being good at anything, because we feel like we have to have it all figured out right away, and when we don't, we get disappointed and we get discouraged, and then we stop trying. We end up fulfilling that idea that we have in our head about how good we are and how bad we are, because we just stop trying. And what life offers us a lot of times, in my opinion, the best part about life is learning, and also, honestly, to be honest, is making mistakes. Making mistakes is the ability to make mistakes is such a gift. And I think we lose sight of that because we feel like we have to be so good and perfect and like have everything figured out all the time. How exhausting, and also how boring. If we were just going around being great all the time, how boring would that be? You wouldn't get to meet anyone worth meeting. You wouldn't really enjoy your life because it would be so boring. You would never fuck up. I'm like, not to say that you should try to fuck up all the time. I'm just saying that, like, if you give yourself permission occasionally to make ugly art, like I'm making right now, it can actually be really freeing, and it just feels better. It feels better than trying to be so freaking perfect all the time, because you're gonna fail. You will. We all do. You're gonna fail. And if you beat yourself up every time that happens, you're not gonna get very far, my dudes. It's gonna be so hard for you. You're not gonna enjoy your life. And if you're not enjoying your life, what are you doing? Why try so hard if you're not even gonna enjoy it? You know, if you're gonna try really hard, which I think you should. I think you should always be you should always give 110%. Well, not 110, that's ridiculous. You should always give 100%. It's not to say that you need to, like, I don't know, push yourself so hard that you don't enjoy your life. Because ultimately, you get one. You get one life. And if you are not enjoying it, if you're just existing, then what's the point? I'm gonna make some trees.
Why? 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 Why?
And I like trees. If you are actually like an artist and a painter, sorry. You probably are hating watching this video because I'm doing nothing right. I'm not letting anything dry before I put colors on top of it. But you know what? It's my painting. It's not your painting. So you can make your painting as beautiful as you want it to be, or as ugly as you want it to be. And for me, today, I felt like making an ugly painting. So that's what I'm gonna do. This is a very ugly painting. It looks like shit. Oh, alright. I'm gonna add some stars and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and be done. It's not working. I probably need to wet it. Gross. Okay, so there's my ugly painting, and do I feel better? Yes. Do I still feel angry? Yes. Listen, anger isn't bad. It exists for a reason, and you can choose how you respond to it, just like you can choose how you respond to everything in this life. This is a terrible painting. But you know what, that's okay. Sometimes you gotta make shitty art, and you can't always make good art. Sorry, Neil Gaiman, you can't always make good art. Sometimes you gotta just make some shit. It's healthy to make some shit. Oh my gosh, okay. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like this video, great. I actually really enjoyed making it, even though this is just awful. So if you want to see more videos like this, or if you have ideas for other videos that you would like to see, let me know. Leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel, because I do not post regularly at all. So it's probably best if you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can get notified when I upload a new video. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video, and until next time, just remember that it's okay not to be okay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! I think I might burn this.